In this Victorian house in London, a specialist craftsman is at work. His is a miniature universe where tiny beings take shape. The craftsman's name is Roger Saunders, and his company, Hornet, makes miniature model figures and heads. American heads, British heads, German. There exists a whole world of model making, unseen by many.
That figure, could I?
Yeah, it's 54.
I saw him, there he is.
There. Next box down. There. Middle of the top row of the second box. Right there.
Roger's speciality is creating new heads for plastic figure sets made by model manufacturers. And his heads are recognised by modelers worldwide as being the best in the business. Scale War Machines has come to Roger's studio to learn more about the man and his minute work.
Come in, have a look. This is my lair.
His workshop is where these faces come to life, through hours of painstaking sculpting.
It is ultra specialised, but it is worldwide. I probably sell most of my stuff abroad.
When a figure needs a spot of radical surgery, many turn to his creations.
And so your really dedicated modeller will take his plastic figure and he'll replace the face or the head.
It's a life spent in search of perfection.
You have to be obsessive, really, because the people that buy these things are turning their backs on some very good products simply because they don't have that very, very slight extra degree of detail or authenticity. But the true reason is I'm a sad obsessive that loses sleep if he doesn't think he's got it right.
Roger's background is in graphic design. He first started sculpting figures as a means of income between jobs. And slowly, a business began to emerge.
I started doing it because I felt I could do better than the stuff that was already on the market and to fill in spaces between the various pauses in my graphic design contract work.
As time went by, his meticulously crafted headsets became the staple of the business.
Most of my stuff now are the headsets, bizarrely enough, so I don't make many figures anymore, but I do make the headsets.
To make the heads, he uses a two-part modelling putty called milliput, which he mixes up.
What you have are two blobs of material, a bit like soft plasticine, and they're inert until you mix them together. Once you mix them together, you have a certain amount of time in which you can model them, and then it gradually hardens. Once it's hard, you can actually drill it, file it, sand it, and if a bit breaks off, you can simply stick another bit on. It's a wonderful modelling material.
This is used to make the master that will then be sent off to be reproduced in resin, thanks to a flexible mould. But sculpting the master can take hours. Something he prefers not to think about. How many hours do you think you'd spent on that?
I don't know. I really don't know. I don't count the hours because I did once try to count the hours because people always asked. Originally I used to freelance, so it's quite important that I had some idea how long these things took. But then I think I worked it out a few times and grew so sort of demoralised by the sheer number of hours I was spending on these things compared with the money I was getting for them, that I decided that if I was going to carry on doing it, it was best not to inquire too deeply. And when I started working for myself, there didn't seem any point. I either did it or I didn't do it. And if it took the hours it took, that was it. The important thing was get it right. Oh, I don't know, we didn't get a close-up on this. This is a chap baring his teeth, and I'm trying to keep the teeth well defined. It's slightly less than ½ an inch from the crown of his head to his chin, which would be what, 12 millimetres?
But working at this scale, Roger faces a unique set of challenges.
We've got to try and produce optical illusions that make it look as if the chap's got real eyes or real eyebrows or real textured hair. Hair is a particular problem, because anything that approaches real hair texture is not going to be reproducible.
Do you get attached to the characters you're creating?
No, actually, no, I don't. I spend most of my time desperately trying to create new varieties of the human face, and I don't think I'm particularly good at it. The other problem with doing faces is that I make them too symmetrical, I think. Human face is often very different from one side to another.
What serves as inspiration?
I make them up as I go along with most of them. Occasionally I might see an illustration or something in a book and think, oh, that's a good characterful face, I'll try and get something of that.
Now Roger can reflect on his lifetime of work, and how others react to the fact he makes a living from sculpting tiny heads.
It is quite a difficult thing. It's a question I dread, frankly. It really is a question I dread. They invariably say, oh, that's interesting. And I don't think my wife really seriously thinks I have a proper job at all. I think they probably feel the same slight embarrassment as I do, that it's not really a proper job for a grown man. But yes, I do get a kick out of it. I mean, first you're creating something out of nothing, and then you get the first test shots back, and you get a fillip out of that because you see for the first time how it will be when it goes out commercially. Then people say nice things about you in the modelling magazines. And you know, yes, you do get stroked occasionally, which is quite nice. As long as you don't take it too seriously, there are one or two people in the business who are fairly earnest about it. They are just little figures, really. I think of myself as a designer and possibly a craftsman, but not as an artist.
Subscribe for our latest videos.